Hello. Welcome to another session of Freewheeling Fridays. Hey, Vinod.
Hey, good evening, Karthik, and good evening to all our viewers, and welcome to Freewheeling Friday. I think it's been a long week again and a long Friday because we have another session on Clubhouse where me and Karthik and hopefully Anand Datta from Nexus also will join us on Clubhouse for another session on understanding VC terms. I think that's going to be exciting. So we kind of ending up doing literally two freewheelings. And Karthik, I actually spoke about on Clubhouse saying right, freewheeling right. It started even before we got into Clubhouse. We were exactly doing that, except that the tool was not exactly built for the Clubhouse feeling in a way. Yeah.
Yeah, quite right, quite right. We think we've done something right there.
Yeah. I think what we do on freewheeling is what literally happens on Clubhouse today. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, but I think so. I've been on club work for almost like a month and a half now, right?
Hmm.
A lot of interesting conversations from across the world. All of a sudden, it feels like you're in this midst of these very intellectual conversations. So I get the genius of Clubhouse, and I know why Andrew Chen is going gaga about this.
Because he is the lead investor from A16Z, that's why.
I saw his uh, tweet today, right? Let me just put this up.
Yeah, I think he's been super active.
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw this, Karthik. Yeah, very interesting. And I also write there's a show that's run by Sriram, right below it, right? Sriram and his wife runs another thing called Good Times, and
yeah, yeah.
that gets again tremendous audience, right? It happens roughly 11 a.m. India time. Yeah, obviously we don't get to see it, but I've seen that there's tremendous participation that's happening. They do it every day almost. So I think if you look at from a value add perspective, right? I just start to think, right? Look, maybe A16Z invested and spent so much time on it, including Mark Anderson and Chen and Naval Ravikant and Balaji, all these people, right? They just made the clubhouse, exclusive in some sense. If you want to listen to what Naval is talking, Balaji or Mark Anderson, you want to go there. I think
Correct.
it's a classic or a new age technology built on influencer led reality platform, and then slowly one by one the trickle effect and the network effect. And now when I started right a couple of months ago, I think I spoke to you, right, Karthik, about Clubhouse. And I mean, hardly 5-6 people were there. I was, I think,
Mm.
at least from in India's perspective, right, one of the earlier ones, and I did the first set of conversations. I remember, and now everybody has a clubhouse in it. I'm like, I already like, and number of followers are like just increasing. I'm like actively participating, and the ecosystem is actively participating. Yeah,
Right. No, I've actually seen a lot of people joining on recently, man. Every day, you get a
notification.
notification saying, "Hey, are you available to welcome so and so?" Right?
Yeah.
And especially, it's become like a good sort of unwinding place for a lot of people from our ecosystem, right, from the startup ecosystem,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is interesting. But that leads me to my other question, Vinod. It's like, when does a community ceases to be a community and becomes a clique, or other way around?
Uh, I don't know how much of a differentiation, Karthik, would you do between a community and a clique, right? Clique is something small, right? And it has a very
Hmm.
narrow purpose, right? In some sense. Community is for the common good, in some sense, right? It's much more open, is my sense of community, right? A clique is like going to be very difficult to penetrate into.
Yeah.
If you ask, right? A community is open, and it accepts people as they come, right? And, as people can leave. I think it's a community. Clubhouse is a community. It's still early days, and it's difficult to say. How does it turn out in the future as more people come in, right? We've seen what happens to Facebook or what happens to Twitter. So much of slanging match that's goes on Twitter. If you really want to, and same thing, it happens on let's say Facebook also, right? Kind of content. I think early days it's very nice, to be on a platform which is still like early. As people get added, a lot more people get added. I don't know how that turns out to be, right? Yeah, and it's iPhone exclusive today, in some sense, right? And strange news, Karthik. You should see the papers. 4 times or something the sales of iPhones in the last quarter. I think if
I
I'm
did. You know, they
yeah,
had a bumper quarter in India this year.
like 4 times, right? I kind of think I'd attribute a part of it to Clubhouse, not a little too much, but yeah, and and that's like interesting conversation. I think it's a community. We don't know how it evolves, but I also want to add Twitter. Karthik, Twitter is launched in beta something called Twitter Spaces. Not in India yet. Basically, the same Clubhouse on Twitter. People are already there on Twitter, right? It might be actually
Right.
faster to strike a conversation, right? Your audience is built.
It's surprising why it took them so long.
I know. I mean, it took them so long, for people to realize, right? So, and the other thing to just also cover now that we are talking about Clubhouse, Karthik, they got invested at $1 billion valuation. You should put that up here, right? That's like craziness, right? In like less than a year, not even a year, Karthik. This is 6 months, literally, right? I remember this was the first batch of our angel course, and Sham or somebody messaged me or somebody messaged saying, saying, this company is getting invested in $100 million. Oh, like strangely, Sham has come today, right? He actually messaged me or discussed this with me. I was like, that's like, that happens, right? Such valuations happen, there are reasons for such
Sham, I am with you. No iPhone.
Yeah. So $100 million, Karthik, that's the big thing, right? Like that was itself big thing, when 6 to 8 months back, and now you're talking of $1 billion valuation straight away.
Yeah.
180 investors, basically, right? The number clearly shows, right? They've given space to a lot of influencers to be a part of this. When 180 investors means, right, you have some of the celebrities who are part of it, and those celebrities are going to be on the Clubhouse more often than not to spike up the numbers, keep the numbers going. Very good strategy, right? You become an investor, you do the talking, and the club benefits, and you also benefit overall, right? Yeah, significant stuff to happen. And I have one other small story, Karthik. I know I'm taking all your airtime and Bhargavi's airtime on Clubhouse. So actually, right, just before Clubhouse got launched, right, the founders were doing another startup. It was called Talk Show, another startup. Okay, and I was using Talk Show, frankly. Okay, and me and Semel used to talk, and it was just months, just when we started Java, right? It was a nice app where I used to be notified whenever somebody talks in an event, and it was called Talk Show. And Semel used to use it, and whenever he was talking, I was kind of listening in, and SMS used to come saying, so and so is talking, do you want to go and listen? That's all. One click on the SMS, and I used to kind of get connected and listen on the browser. And I mean, if I am right, I think Samuel probably didn't get into the round. I don't know, but this is just happened before Clubhouse. Same founders, right? So they were thinking about social and audio for a decade, literally, and they were tinkering along on audio for a long time before coming up with Clubhouse. That's the interesting tidbit. I don't know. I'm not saying we would have invested, yeah, obviously, but so that's like a long stretch. But yeah, new Silicon Valley, I agree. You should talk about SoftBank also, Karthik, and Miami. Then, if you're talking about the new Silicon Valley,
yeah. No, Vinod, I think, look, one of the reasons why we are discussing this, right, is obviously, this is what happens in the startup ecosystem, VC ecosystem, right? People just go gaga about, a company, and the amount of excitement is unlimited. Sometimes it just feels unlimited, right? But when you think about, when you think more logically, right, more rationally, how do you justify the valuations? Those questions come, right? How do you justify the valuations? How do they monetize this? How do they plan to monetize this? And so on and so forth. I think the American ecosystem is much ahead of where we are right now, and I think to some extent, they can actually fund these really disruptive ideas. Where do we stand in India? Can we have seen anything like this coming out of India?
To Too difficult, Karthik, to see this out of India yet. I feel, right. I think I was about to ask the same question. Maybe you throw this at Bhargavi, right? I'll give you my answer. I have some thoughts, but yeah, it's too early, is what I think. Actually, in very short, I don't think so. We are ready, for that kind of stuff to be built out of India yet, for whatever reason. Yeah.
Bhargavi, thoughts?
I think globally, if someone does it for Android, that will be the first step. You can probably create a category only OnePlus users.
Yeah. Look, I think that's actually not a bad suggestion, right? Maybe we'll see some lookalikes. I don't like the word copycats, but maybe some lookalikes
So we are already
for the
seeing, right?
Android
We are
ecosystem.
seeing different versions already. I think we would have seen already 2-3 companies minimum.
Yeah. So Sham is saying, I guess it's about risk capital too.
Sham, will you invest if someone does it out of India? For people who are seeing, Sham is actually a very, very prolific angel investor. He has got some very great picks in his kitty. So yeah, Sham, will you invest if someone builds it for either Android users like us or out of India, another clubhouse?
Okay.
We
While
will
Sham
wait
is
for Sham to type it
Yeah,
out.
as we wait for Sham, right? I would say, right, I will not invest. Okay. Because I think you should think very, very international first, right? That's what I think Clubhouse is. Clubhouse is also has an Indian co-founder, right? In that, if you notice, right?
correct.
Rohan said so. It's possible to build, but you should build from a Silicon Valley mindset. I don't know if you can sit in India and build that. Now that this COVID and all has happened, right? I don't know, right? What is so difficult, right? You can build the same thing sitting here and pushing it into the valley. But maybe the context of the valley is so much important for the early adoption, Karthik.
Correct.
I think
Yeah.
if you have the adoption, you can sit here and build. Actually, maybe that's that's my take. But we are also seeing India companies like I think I saw something. Somebody thinking of Indian versions of the Clubhouse, some vernacular ones, and some conversations going around saying India's Clubhouse is Clubhouse. Imagine this has been going on for decades now, saying same thing, right? FB is for FB, all this stuff, right? So I think there could be some things as possible. But we also had audio startups prior, right? Bhargavi was associated with one of them, if I remember right. We had Indian audio first startups even prior, right? So it's just that how you put together. I think Clubhouse just put it together well, and influencers, and it's pretty successful, yeah. So Karthik, since you're talking of Silicon Valley, right? SoftBank has put some $100 million in Miami. One of your favorite places, I'm assuming, right? Now.
Hey, I've never been to Miami, man.
So that's another news. I said, why don't you put, how does it differ now, right? Silicon Valley is on Clubhouse, means Bangalore maybe dal sakte hai na. I'm starting to.
Yeah. What is the logic behind exclusively Miami-based startups?
Yeah, because everybody is moving there, so they're saying, let's do this there. I think, that's like what's happening. Some stories going around. I think that Karthik, that leads into an interesting thing. When you talk of Florida, Miami, and you have rich people, all sorts of these villas on the Bay Area, and hedge fund managers and people who make a lot of money through hedge funds, right? That's been in the news, and yesterday night, I think the whole of Twitter was lit. My timeline, at roughly still 12 o'clock was all about, one thing only. The whole of yesterday night, right? Not even Indian Twitter was in action, right? Completely was dominated by, the likes of Chamath, likes of, Balaji from US, and everybody who follows the US stock market was just, going berserk all over the place. Robinhood and, the stock, right? GameStop. Yeah. Completely, I think, it's a crazy episode that, we've not seen. And Bhargavi, maybe you should highlight, or if you, I don't know if you followed it, but I followed yesterday night and it was like some kind of a craziness, right? What do you think?
I didn't follow the Twitter, but I followed the news, right?
It all started on Reddit, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
But always see, right? Sometimes some of these things I look at the political motive, because if you see some of the tweets from the senators as well, I'm just trying to see, is there anything else which is underneath and all these things. So that is the angle with which I was looking at.
No, I think there was political thing also. AOC, right, was on Twitch live, talking about this. So, and Robinhood stopped buying of the same stock, and only you could sell, right? Like craziness. Some
You could only close your positions. It's not even
Yeah,
just selling. You can only close your positions.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
and the hedge funds started crying out because so many people had shorted the stock.
I think it's once in a lifetime opportunity. Looks like there'll be a book written on this. I'll tell you, pretty much like the greatest trade ever, right? I'm sure this will have so many stories. People would have made millions and billions, some of them, and some hedge funds going under the bus. I think there's a great book and a movie likely to be made. I think you should register the movie name somewhere or a domain name, right? Something like that. GameStop, the Great Squeeze, or something like that. You likely to make money. I mean, there are professional squatters, people who make money, call themselves as something, not squatters, they call themselves as domain something, Karthik. I saw that in a Twitter profile. Young Indian, again, not like somebody else, young Indian who's put saying, I'm a domain buyer or something like that. I mean, that's like a legitimate job now you can professionally do. So,
Yeah.
So, creator economy, if you wish, yeah.
Yeah, entrepreneur in his own right.
Yeah. And so she, he, everybody, this is, brilliant, brilliant job. Buy domain names, then, make money out of it. Great stories, yeah. Anyway, so moving beyond that, Karthik, maybe I'll ask this to Bhargavi. Bhargavi, what's the news that's on the top of your mind? I know something's there, a lot of awards.
No, I wanted to ask you, when do you think you are going to get Padma Shri?
Padma Shri. Good question, right? You are asking for they don't give it to VCs, by the way. Okay, there is never.
There is always a first, so that's why I'm asking you.
No, so they don't give it, right? Unless you can, look who the number of people who've been given Padma Shris in the entrepreneurial ecosystem itself, right, is very limited.
Yes.
So largely, you can pull up some statistics, Karthik, it's on Wikipedia. You can look at it, Padma Awards 2020 or 2019. Trade and industry is a category. Largely, it's been going towards, very traditional, successful industrialists. In all that sense, right, Sridhar is a traditional businessman, but
Yeah.
from the startup ecosystem, right? And Padma Award to Sridhar was one of the things that lit up the week, at least for me. And I was like, oh, this is phenomenal, to see Sridhar being honored with Padma. And I think the government is this government, at least I told this openly, a lot of people can disagree, right? This government, at least, has been fairly realistic about who needs to get Padma Awards and what sorts of awards. And it's not, only the influential people within a circle or as Karthik called it in the earlier conversation, a clique that gets these awards, right? Anyway, it's been another farmer women also, right, received the award, 105-year-old farmer from Tamil Nadu, right? So I was just thinking, if you look at all this list, Karthik, and absolutely look, all these are, very good industrialists, right? Vijay Sankeshwar again from Karnataka there. Of that Vijay Group, right? Bharat Goenka. These are great businessmen. Sanjeev Bikhchandani, the one of the biggest listed technology companies.
Yes.
Venu Srinivasan, again, industrialist from TVS Group.
Anand
Mahindra. I think phenomenal list of people from that, right? So I think Sridhar getting is some acknowledgement of the new age enterprise, the new enterprise as we call it, and that's like augurs well for the ecosystem. I think for all of us to kind of look forward. Yeah.
So Sridhar is in which category?
Good question.
Yeah, interesting because I didn't find him in trade and industry.
Okay, just
Uh,
try clicking state, Karthik. Maybe put Tamil Nadu on the state, all states. So just change to Tamil Nadu, all categories. Go down. Oh, okay. Something's not right.
Something is fishy. Yeah,
Okay.
I think maybe they did not update the site, which is expected.
Yeah,
Which is
hopefully. Yeah, we've been hearing maybe something's missing. Yeah, that's fine. So
yeah.
yeah, that's about it. And Sham put some interesting stuff. Yeah, Sham, Nitin Kamat's thread. I think I agree to it. Indian markets are way secure that way. Yeah, absolutely right. We don't have so much of leverage, and we can't even short. Yeah. So anything that you want to add, Bhargavi, why that awards are being given now, or we deserve more. Our ecosystem, should we ask, give more awards to our entrepreneurs? For example, Nitin Kamath should deserve an award, or all unicorn founders should deserve a Padma Shri. Going.
I don't know about all unicorn founders are specific to Nitin, but I think again there is a lot of talk in the recent times happening about government supporting startup ecosystem. At least people are talking, which is good, right? Which means it's coming under the radar. So that way it is good. So I think all these things are just going to be good for the next generation, millennials, and because people are just going to look at this as a proper avenue, right? Job creation. So I think overall it is good. It's going to create more awareness. We want actually a lot of more people from the industrialist background to come and support other entrepreneurs, come and invest. People are already doing, but I think some of these things are just going to bring more people into the supporting category because I think early stage we still need more money to create foster this ecosystem.
Awesome, great. Karthik, I will end on this interesting note. Will a VC ever get a Padma award? Any Padma award for that matter? Padma Shri is the starting point. Or yeah, you guess? Do you think?
I think they will. One of the pieces will. If not in the next 5 years, maybe definitely in the next 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Bhargav.
See, all these while right, I think VCs are probably look at being sharks and whales. Not many people come and do fun talk show and respond to founders on Friday evenings. Be open for people to reach out to them. Being founder friendly, their term sheets and all that, right? So now the trend is changing. So definitely, I think next 5 6 years.
Yeah, nice plug, Bhargavi. Great. Self nomination. Thank you. Yeah. So let's wait. Beyond the Midas Touch awards that we see every year, maybe a Padma Shri is due sometime. Once some more exits. Yeah, potentially. How do you measure? Who gets a?
If you ask me today, do I have anybody in my mind? I do have. So only one or two people come to my mind. I'm not going to name them.
Come on, Bhargavi, name the firm at least. Come on, let's be open.
Not name the, no, it's not associated with the firm. So for example, one person who comes to my mind is Sequoia Search Head.
Okay.
Right. So because I sincerely believe he has been again a pioneer. He has supported a lot of founders. Right. And I know people who have gone through the program on how he personally interacts with the founders. Right. So he is one person who comes to my mind. If you ask me who's probably currently eligible or somebody I genuinely think is there.
Interesting. Yeah. That's pretty interesting. Yeah. Karthik, should I force you also to take a pick, man?
No, man. I think it's gonna be someone interesting, someone new. We don't know. I think somebody who is groundbreaking, right? No name, but it could be from the existing lot as well, because of the the amount of work that they have done to develop the ecosystem. I think it has to be looked at it that way, right? Not just how much money you made for your LPs or for yourself, but what kind of a role have you played in developing the ecosystem and helping more people achieve their dreams? I think that has to be the measure
Interesting.
for
Yeah.
somebody to get something like this. But we should definitely get from this industry, man, because we don't in India, right? I think we don't necessarily always celebrate success all that much. We're too humble, in a way, and we don't necessarily flaunt our success as well, which is a key difference that I see between a society like us, or someone like in the US, right? We should definitely celebrate success. Wealth creation is not just for one person; it affects hundreds of thousands of people. So I think it's a good thing, all in all.
Interesting. Yeah, I think I kind of agree, Karthik. Yeah, I think I have some picks in my head. This could be one of the investors in Byju's, one of the big investors who's a part of that. I think he might be, my pick if you ask me. Right?
Interesting.
Both of us seem to have picked from the same firm. Both me and Bhargavi.
Yeah.
Some sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Serendipity. That's the clue. Yeah. Anyway, so with that, right? I think Nitin also deserves. I think for bootstrapping. Just like Sridhar, right? He's in some sense a new age Sridhar, if you ask me. Only the
Right.
entrepreneurs, who bootstrapped and set up billion-dollar companies. So I think at some point, Nitin definitely, will see that. I think, yeah. And
Agree.
and he set up the climate fund also, right? We spoke about it in the last freewheeling session.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot more impact creation that's happening, and not just, yeah. That's it, Karthik. You have anything else, that you guys have?
Nothing. So, do you want to any interesting fundraise news?
So one thing that caught my attention, at least a little bit, is this company called Growfix .in. Okay, it's a 2 million round. A lot of super angels. It seems interesting because you are getting access to a very different kind of an asset class, like securitized gold assets, securitized offerings. I like. See, I have always been looking at alternate asset investments and creation. Even though we've really not got a chance to invest in any company, unfortunately, we've been chasing. I like this again. Alternate asset class, bankruptcy protected. Gold, wheels. Just if you see, right, Karthik, vehicle loans, securitized asset. So I just like this. I mean, we didn't come across this. I know, but
Right.
some of our friends have invested in this. Yeah, not all of. Yeah, again, Nitin's here, Kunal, Praveen.
The usual suspects.
No, the entire fintech India, right? Literally,
Yeah.
you can see the next one also, right? Like everybody, fintech,
Correct.
everybody is there. An interesting company, I think, in my view also. Also, I'm starting to think, right, Karthik, is it like the best idea that wins or the best connected founders or the best founder wins? I don't know, right? That's another question on my mind. Sometimes it could, I just think, it may be the best connected founder, not necessarily the best founder who wins. So for example, this could be a case of, the best connected founder in this case, right? So maybe that's how it is. So we'll see how this kind of goes, right? And that's something that caught my attention. An interesting, backing from all the fintech in India people. Yeah.
Correct. Now, this is an interesting pick. Bhargavi, anything that caught your eye?
My interest is D2C. So there is a brand called Zauk. It's a handbag from I use actually Zauk bags. So I just saw that they just raised, because I always assumed they would have raised their capital before. So it was like eye opener when I saw that they just closed their first round of funding just now. So I was like, okay, uh, maybe I should have reached out because I always thought these guys would have raised capital. Very good range of products. I have been using since the last 3 years their bags along with another brand of my friends, Heimlet. So yeah, that is something which caught my eye as a consumer and as an investor.
I'm just thinking, how did I hear about Zook bags? I think you may have shared it on WhatsApp or something like that.
Maybe, yeah.
Or I was just reading about it somewhere. Interesting stuff for sure. Yeah.
I think, what about you, Karthik? Anything that caught your eye?
Okay, bad timing. Actually, you know what? Nothing really interesting that caught my eye right now, Bhargavi. But I mean, honestly speaking, right? One thing that I really wanted to mention, I think we failed to mention last week also, right? Is the sad passing of Govind Rajan.
Yeah, yeah.
It came as a shock, right? Because I really had the good fortune of hold on one second. Somebody really desperately wants to talk to me right now. I'm just gonna mute myself for a second, okay?
Sure, sure. Vinod has also vanished. So it's only me.
This has to be really weird. This happened. Same thing happened with Karthik last week also. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, and I was wondering, was it you who called Karthik desperately?
Not me.
uh,
Okay, now looks like it could be Karthik. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know what's happening, but it is. It is anyway. So let me hold on. Karthik, what's happening, man? Okay, private chat. Anyway, let's continue this freewheeling. This is really has to become like the surprise thing, on freewheeling now. Okay. Uh, I think the phone call caught Karthik, so let me take over.
No, he's back. Hi, Karthik. What's happening?
I am back. Somebody desperately wants to come into my apartment.
Okay, got it. So they are into your apartment. That much we know now. Great. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, what did I miss?
Nothing, nothing. We were just wondering why so many calls are coming. Anyway, so Vinod, you had a recommended read, I assume.
I don't have a recommended read. I've still been, reading my old stuff. That's the whole thing. So far, I continue to read Factfulness and, the gut, mind-gut connection. Still, I think the last couple of weeks have been so much of negotiations and transactions going on. I've hardly had time to read. So I have no book recommendation, but I rather have an article recommendation. If Karthik can pull that right, I just want to see, and suggest people to read that up. You can check it out on Medium. Investing in public, non-obvious lessons from 10 angel investments. I really
100 plus angel investments.
Yeah, this is like phenomenally well written article. It just opens up a lot of thoughts. Somebody is angel investing, and that image also, right, is super catchy, and that image caught the attention for me to even read it, right. Other Sequoia is investing and all angel investors rushing, right, is so much in some sense, substance. If you see that image itself, right? Obviously, I come from a school of thought which is slightly different, or I keep thinking, it's not necessary. You can be very contrarian and kind of go ahead. I think it's a very interesting read for all of them. So I would recommend, for people to read that. Karthik, maybe you should put it up on the chat link, so that people can just click and go there. Yeah, great.
Sure,
That's my
sure.
recommendation for this week, Bhargavi. Yeah.
Great, awesome.
Anything, Bhargavi, what do you have? Any recommendation? What are you reading, or what are you discovering? What are you eating? Any new product? Or you putting your kid through something, testing some products on him?
No time, because I think this has been the most hectic month for us. So really no time to experiment on my kid this month.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I'm still yet to finish my Crucial Conversations book.
Great.
But I'm reading Ikigai as well, right? I'm listening. In fact, I think I mentioned it last time as well. So that's another very good book.
Karthik?
Hey, I'm just reading Outliers.
Oh, that's a good book.
Yeah.
So hope
So
do you,
that is something that is going on. And I'm also reading Good to Great.
okay.
It's just sitting idle, I have to read it.
Okay.
So shameless, okay?
Yeah, by the way, people, that's supposed to be my gift, and Karthik is reading it and giving. Second by now.
This is the height of laziness. COVID has done this to me.
Yeah. And I think that's a good note, Karthik, to probably
So,
tell.
Karthik, are you doing your announcement next week? What do you think? You think it will happen?
I my
Or
fingers are crossed. Okay.
I think hands, legs, everything crossed at this stage.
Everything is crossed.
I think we can actually write a book on that, right?
It should make a good blog post for sure.
Karthik, today's
Definitely.
conversation, no, has some amount of one of the reasons for doing today's conversation at 9 o'clock on not
Yeah,
lunch club.
same
I
thinking.
assumed.
Karthik, Clubhouse, not lunch
Not
club.
Lunch Club. Karthik is marketing for
What am I
something
doing?
else.
So people who want to listen to us at 9 o'clock today, 9 p.m. India time, on Clubhouse, where me, Karthik, and Anand Datta from Nexus will be talking about VC terms, because it's always a mumbo jumbo. A lot of people think, right? So we try and decode some of the VC language and why VCs want what they want in terms of those terms. Hopefully, it just demystifies some of these and makes it easier for founders, to approach VCs, with a lot more confidence. And that's largely the idea, to try and help founders and everybody understand the VC lingo. Yeah.
There.
Good. Maybe we will do that in our next freewheeling as well. Let's take 15 minutes and do it.
Yeah.
You guys do your practice session with Clubhouse, where only elites who are mostly entrepreneurs, probably
Elites.
who are not even going to reach out to us, will be there.
No, there are a lot of people, Bhargavi, so
Wow.
yeah, there's lots of folks, who are buying iPhones to just be on Clubhouse. You might have to do that shortly, looks like. Yeah.
Sorry.
Because
Just
I was
get
planning,
an iPhone. Hey, dude, you have to get an iPhone. Once you get an iPhone, right? Even Vinod was skeptical before he got his Apple product.
Yeah, I was
Now
an
he
iPhone
swears by
user.
it.
I had iPhone 6. So
And
I
then you
know.
switch to Android.
Yeah.
yeah, interesting.
I'm speechless.
Apple has done a bad job. That's all. Anyway,
Great. So we'll see you next week.
yeah, we'll see next week, guys. See you on the Clubhouse, and we may move the freewheeling to Clubhouse is what Karthik's thinking, and Bhargavi buys an iPhone. It might happen. Maybe you have only a few more episodes to catch up on.
Not happening. I'm supporting all Android users.
Yeah? Okay. Thank you all for joining. See you all at 9 p.m. Whoever is joining us, we're going to have some fun time there, and have a great weekend. We are also going to wind up our Angel course cohort 6 this weekend.
Yeah.
And watch out to see when we would do the next Angel course. I think that's some time away. That's what Bhargavi says. I think we've had too many angels we've created. The market is flooded with money by our own angels.
But I already have registrations, informal registrations for next course.
Yeah. I think
nice.
we are trying to control the liquidity that we are putting into the market, guys. We don't want a GameStop to happen in the angel investing space. So we're going to do it in February end, or maybe March for all you know. The next Angel cohort that's going to come off. Watch out. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you for all joining us. Thanks, Karthik.
All right, guys. Good night.
Bye bye.
Have a great weekend.
Have a good time in Clubhouse today. Bye.